Hi dear audience, here is Abbas and Zhang Shuai. Today we're gonna share you our project of the supplier chain design. The topic we choose is the literature review of closed loop supplier chain network design. Okay, here's our content. First, we will let you have an overview by our introduction, and then we will tell you why we choose this topic by the objective and the motivation. And then you will have a detailed understanding about this topic by the problem statement and also the related research and methodology. The second step, you will know our literature review and by the multi-period, multi-products, and multi-objectives approaches. And after that, we will introduce you the modeling methodology analysis which we summarized, and also the solution methodology summarization. And then we will let you know how we consider the uncertainty. And the last but not least, you will see our opinion about the opportunities and further research.
Hello everyone, my name is Abbas Mirafolli and I am going to present this part of the presentation. Supply chain network design is one of the most important issues in designing supply chain and managing supply chain because it affects greatly on the performance and efficiency of the supply chain. Nowadays, most of the companies consider not only the forward flows but also the reverse flows in designing their supply chain network, and closed loop supply chain network design is growing more attention and drawing more attention by the researchers. There are a lot of reasons, but some of the most important reasons are the fact that customer service improvement and the environmental requirement have also made companies to consider closed-loop logistic network design more accurately in their planning phase. Moreover, closed-loop logistic not only helps companies to manage efficiently their disposal of their defective, but also helps them to decrease their production costs. Here is the picture of the closed loop supply chain network design. As we can see, the raw material is sent to the manufacturing part. The manufacturing part produces the product and send it to distributor center. The distributor center will send the product to the reseller, and the reseller actually sell the final product to the customer. The customer will return some of the unused product to return it for evaluation, and they will send it to disposal center. The disposal center will send some of the product to recovery facility, and the recovery facility will also send some of the product that are still usable to raw material section. So this will be the closed loop supply chain network design as it's presented in this diagram. So here I will explain the motivation and objective of the study. The objective of this study is to come up with literature review paper for reverse logistic and closed loop supply chain by summarizing and analyzing historical paper on reverse logistic and supply and closed loop supply chain topics. As nowadays, from environmental aspect, the producer are more and more required on reviewing the product environmental impact for the whole product life cycle by various laws such as waste, electrical and electronic equipment directive in Europe. For economic point of view, enterprises are gaining more interest on product recycling to decrease the cost of competitive advantages also. So here I will explain the problem statement. The purpose of the author is to present a state-of-the-art literature review report about closed-loop logistic network design and logistic network design with reverse flows. We are going to present all the new aspects in this field and try to come up with the new aspect for further research also. So research methodology, in this study we will consider the following research methodology. In order to complete our study in this research project, the authors are going to study papers in the field of closed loop logistics and logistics with reverse flows and come up with the most important research aspect presented in the literature. The authors are going to classify all the research and come up with a comprehensive literature review paper that present the new research areas in the field. Here I will explain the literature review part. There has been a lot of literature review papers in the field of closed-loop logistics and logistics with reverse flows in the literature, but few of these research papers consider closed-loop supply chain, reverse logistics, and green supply chain at the same time. As table 1 summarizes some of these papers, as you can see here, this table summarizes some of the literature review studies that have been done previously. As you can see, most of them focus on reverse logistics or closed loop supply chain management. They didn't consider all of these aspects: reverse logistics, closed loop supply chain management, and green supply chain at the same time. So another aspect that we are going to analyze and study the paper in our research is considering the paper in the closed loop supply chain network design that consider the multi-period, multi-products, and multi-objective approach. The approach considering different operating periods and products have also been considered for the study. For example, Hassanzadeh and Zhang developed a multi-objective model that minimized the total cost of the logistic network and maximized the usage of environmental friendly material in the network considering demand uncertainties. Another paper was presented by Ni Nguyen and his colleagues. They presented a multi-objective and multi-product mixed integer model that optimized cost, environmental, and social impact at the same time. Another paper which was considered by Wahdani, he presented a multi-objective model for closed-loop logistic network with multiple product and multiple time period. The objective that he considered in his paper were minimizing total time, maximizing profit, and maximizing flexibility. Another researcher called Mehbod and his colleagues developed a multi-objective, multi-product, and multi-period model for closed-loop logistic network design problem. They minimized the total cost, the delivery time of new product, and the collection time of the used product in the nonlinear model. Dai also presented a multi-objective, multi-product, multi-echelon model that minimized the total cost, waste, and carbon dioxide and risk. Ramezani and his colleagues also developed a multi-objective model that maximized the total profit, customer responsiveness, and quality as the objective of logistic networks simultaneously. Another paper was presented by Jindal and his colleagues. They presented a multi-product, multi-period, multi-echelon capacitated closed-loop supply chain in fuzzy environment. They proposed a fuzzy mixed integer linear programming model to decide location and allocation decision of facilities and parts.
Here, let me show you the modeling methodology analysis we have summarized. Actually, there are various methodologies applied for the reverse loop and closed loop supply chain studies. Based on these studies, the methodologies are classified into 13 categories as shown in the graph figure 1. The potential benefit of the methodologies classification is to educate the correction between problem type of reverse loop and also the closed loop supply chain. And also the modeling methodology. This correlation may help researchers utilize stable, suitable methodology effectively. And according to the figure, 30.5% papers utilize linear model while 6.8% papers apply non-linear model. After the methodology classification and also the correlation summarization, we found some correlation are identified. For example, game theory is applied by a majority of pricing and coordination problems. For the solution methodologies, there are different types of approaches utilized in reverse loop and closed loop supply chain methodological problem solving. Here we classify them into 7 categories, which is shown in the figure. utilize solution methodologies. The aim of solution methodologies classification is to build the link between modeling methodologies and solution approaches. For instance, we found that analytical and exact method are main solution approach for game theory. Here we will let you know how we consider the uncertainties. Actually, there are different approaches utilized for uncertain data, such as various stochastic approaches, fuzzy logic, interval programming, or combination of different approaches. The figure 3 shows the various approaches utilized in deterministic and non-deterministic studies. And then, analysis of their parameters are commonly considered uncertainty in reverse loop and closed loop supply chain networks. Based on the figure 4, we can see that demands are commonly used as non-deterministic parameters, and the multi-non-deterministic parameters are considered in some cases. Other deterministic parameters are utilized in figure 4. Whereas non-deterministic parameters, like different rates, leading time, and delivery time, and so on.
Here in this section, I will be explaining the opportunities and further research. There are a lot of opportunities and further research for closed-loop supply chain network design problems. Some of them I will be explaining here. For example, there are few research trying to integrate reverse logistic and closed-loop supply chain at the same time, and they didn't integrate reverse logistic and closed-loop supply chain with each other. So it's a good approach to consider this point. The analysis also shows that there are opportunities for considering uncertainty in reverse logistic and closed-loop supply chain management. Considering fuzzy model is also another issue that can be further analyzed. Forecasting is another aspect that needs more attention. Just few papers consider forecasting in their research. One can consider forecasting amount of written product in their analysis also. Another issue which is still a gap in reverse logistic or closed-loop supply chain is considering multiple objective functions. Multi-objective optimization is an important research gap that can be further studied. Another aspect that can be considered in the reverse logistic domain is developing performance measures to analyze the remanufacturing influence on production planning and control of closed-loop supply chain management. Another approach that should be considered for further research is developing a good pricing policy. The pricing of products should be done based on the quality of return products. Another area for further research is selection of return facilities such as third-party logistic provider, in-house or centralized return center. The competitive priorities on return facility selection decisions should be more aligned with each other. And the last point that should be considered for further research is the point that is actually developing a more realistic model with more realistic assumption, like working on real case studies. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate your time for taking a look at our presentation.